What's up, everyone out there in YouTube land? It's me, Perry Lovewhistle, and I'm back on Akkadian in Project Quarm, and I'm back in the Temple of Solusek Row, because Kunark has soft launched. I can't go to Kunark yet, but it does mean that the old world mobs for epic quests are spawning, so I'm going to get started on the Wizard Epic quest. Part of that is finding Solomon in the Temple of Solusek Row. I think he's up here in the library? No, he's through this door hanging out with the Shadow Knight skeletons. You talk to him about the history of Norath, and he alludes to a story about wizards, which obviously is why I'm here. But when you ask for more information on that, he just sends you on a fetch quest. Apparently, I need to deliver a note to someone named Cayman in Iridan. And the note itself seems to be a item list for another quest, or maybe it's for the pre-revamp version of this quest. I don't know, but the items listed in this are not necessary and won't be used by me at any point on this character. So it's time to head back home to Iridan and find this Cayman. According to the Project 1999 wiki, Cayman is in the Vasty Deep Inn, which is just inside to the left, right over here. Go in and go, oh, poor fears. Tears for fears. Go past the front desk, up the stairs, and in the first door on your left, there he is, Cayman. Apprehensive. I wonder if he will accept. And he does. And he talks about how he is a man of wealth of knowledge, and that he is doing research which is expensive. He's trying to get me to give him 1,000 platinum, which apparently I don't need to do. If I do that, he just tells me about how there were 4 wizards who were really powerful and got tutored by Solusek Row, the god that I worship. And that one of those 4 still exists. His name is Arantir Karandor, who specializes in storing magic in physical objects. So I need to go find him, and it just so happens I know exactly where he is. If there was one place that I would want to hide as a wizard, it would be Chalice. There is no reason for a wizard to come up here, aside from all those reasons that I've come up here for wizard quests. Go into Chalice, go past the bank to the Shaman Guild. And let's see. Apprehensive. Dargon here is indifferent. Dargon sells a potion called Rose Breath. But she sells it for nearly 1,000 platinum. No problem, I'm a wizard and I'm flush with cash. So hop over to the bank, grab some money, and purchase this Rose Breath. which, by the way, identifies as powerful magic radiates from this object. So it's a magician spell stored in a potion being sold by a shaman. That's supposed to seem suspicious. But before I go show my findings to Cayman, I want to take a second to go ahead and bind here. This is going to become important later. Now, back to Irudin. Go to Cayman, and yes, I have found an object with magic stored in it. And he gives me back... says I can't accept that item. He gave me back the exact same item. Okay, after some quick review, it turns out you do have to give him the $1,000. 1,000 platinum. It keeps track of whether or not you've done that, and you can't do the rest of the quest without it. No problem. Again, I am still flush with cash. So here is another 1,000 platinum. Cool, here's all that information. And now I give him the rose breath. Nice. Okay, so he recognizes that this is the work of Arantir. And now I have rose breath that doesn't have any charges on it anymore. Not only that, it identifies as, I know who you are. So now I've just got to take this back and give it to Dargon. Now this part is time sensitive, so make sure you're bound here, and it's not like it ruins everything and you're out 2,000 platinum if you don't get back here in time, but it does mean you have to do this part over again, and I'll explain that if I do it wrong. You start by giving Dargon the rose breath, and she despawns, and Arantir Karandor is here, one of the wizards of the four. And he gives me a ring and tells me to go and give it to a woman named Chalice, which identifies as my love has no bounds. So, obviously, a romance quest. Chalice is in Felwith, so off to the Fadark. According to the wiki, Chalice is in the basement of the Paladin Guild. So, let's look around down here. In here? No. Oh, but everyone still really likes me. She's not one of the two people down here, is she? No, she's not. And one more room. Empty? Oh, there she is. Facing the wall for no reason. And she's very unhappy with me being in here. Okay, well, how about some good news? I'll give you this ring. Nice, and she talks about how she was manipulating a powerful wizard and never had any interest in him. And gives the ring back. Which identifies as, I never could love a man like you. Wow. Well, let's go back and give Arantir the bad news. Okay. Really bad time for a gate to fail. Let's try this again. Excellent. Arantir is still up. So I give him back the ring. And he is, understandably, a little sad. And he talks about how he was embarrassed because he was going to cast a really big spell for her, and his powers disappeared when he was about to do that, which embarrassed him, and she left him. And talks about how there were 3 other wizards who also had their powers stripped at not necessarily embarrassing times, but deadly times. One of them was a high elf. When his powers were stripped from him, he was flying over a body of water, causing him to fall into that water and be imprisoned by a rival wizard. That wizard is Finnegal, the raid boss of Kedge. The next was Dimunir Scry, who was a human exploring old ruins and ended up being killed by a raid boss there. That is the staff off of Vinril Sathir, which is a Kunark raid boss. So I can't get that one yet. And then when you ask him about the gnome, he despawns as he tells you about the gnome. He doesn't remember the gnome's name, but that he was small and crafty and had a brother. And his brother was fond of making fireworks. It gives you a note, and it identifies as "What is lost must be found." Very cryptic, but I'm looking for a gnome who goes by the nickname of Old Stupot. And Old Stupot is referencing Candon Firepot, who is in the southwest corner of Butcher Block Mountains. If you hail him, he talks about oil, which if you respond, "What oil?" he goes ahead and gives you a golem sprocket and talks about how he had built a golem to go through a giant portal into another plane. If you give him the note, he talks about how his brother is dead, but he has a very nice item as a keepsake from his brother, and that I can get a list of stuff for him and get that item. This is the pre-revamp version of the quest, and I don't even know if it's possible on this server, but I do know that the post-revamp version is possible, so I'm going to go through a giant portal. And there's only one giant portal to another plane I know of, and that is the one to the Fear Portal. So I'll be back once we've cleared out enough, and I've won the role for the Broken Golem. Okay, I actually got the second roll, but the Broken Golem is over here by this big mechanized bell tower thing. And the golem itself is not KOS. When you turn in the sprocket, he despawns and a KOS one spawns and kills you if you're not fast enough. Luckily, I'm bound right outside. So this is a long fight, but it's just a melee fight. Once it is finally over, and I'm given loot rights, I can loot my green oil. Now I just need to finish this raid and get back to Candon. And I give Candon the green oil. And he says, I sure hope you didn't hurt the golem. Don't worry, Candon, the golem is fine. He's still up in the plane of fear. But he also gives me the Staff of Gabstik, which is a huge upgrade for me. 15 intelligence, 20 mana, 25 save versus magic, and save versus poison. Plus, a note to Aaron tier. I'm going to use this later to get him to spawn so that I can do the final turn-in. But the Staff of Gabstik is a, like I said, huge upgrade over the Staff of the Wheel. Staff of the Wheel is now completely useless to me. And at this point, I could just destroy it. But I can also go and turn it in and finish the quest that almost no one ever does. Which is exactly what this channel is about. So, back up here in Everfrost, I have my final conversation with Shulgar. If you turn in the Staff of the Wheel and the Star of Eyes that he gave you for the Tartan's Wheel quest, he gives you the runes of the Astral and the Rune of Frost, which give you a no-fail combine for the most powerful wizard direct damage spell, Ice Comet. Turns out that I actually already have this. It is incredibly common on this server and easy to get, especially if you're in a raiding guild, but I couldn't help but complete the quest. But that is it for the Staff of Gabstik part of the quest. And actually with the Skull Staff and my Loam Robe, I kind of look like a Priest of Discord. But I can't use that Ice Comet until I'm level 49. So I need to get back to grinding. Until next time, bye.